Special thanks to Patreon supporter The Spectre for making this tutorial possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, ZPro here, bringing you another Minecraft Modern Warfare aircraft tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going ahead and doing a redesign for the AH-64D Apache Longbow. The Boeing AH-64 Apache is an American twin turbosaf attack helicopter with a tailwheel type landing gear arrangement and a tandem cockpit for a crew of 2. It features a nose-mounted sensor suite for target acquisition and night vision systems. It is armed with a 30mm M230 chain gun carried between the main landing gear under the aircraft forward fuselage, and 4 hardpoints mounted on stub wing pylons for carrying armament and stores, typically a mixture of Hellfire missiles and Hydra 70 rocket pods. The AH-64 has a significant system redundancy to improve combat survivability. The Apache began as the Model 77 helicopter by Hughes Helicopters for the United States Army's Advanced Attack Helicopter Program to replace the H-1 Cobra. The prototype YH-64 was first flown on September 30th, 1975. The U.S. Army selected the YH-64 over the Bell YH-63 in 1976 and later approved full production in 1982. After purchasing Hughes helicopters in 1984, McDonnell Douglas continued AH-64 production and development. The helicopter was introduced to the U.S. Army service in April of 1986. The advanced AH-64D Apache Longbow was delivered to the Army in March 1997. Production has been continued by Boeing Defense, Space and Security, with over 2,400 AH-64s being produced by 2020. The U.S. Army is the primary operator of the AH-64. It has also become the primary attack helicopter of multiple nations, including Greece, Japan, Israel, and the Netherlands, Singapore, and the United Arab Emirates. It has been built under license in the United Kingdom as the Augusta Westland Apache. American AH-64s have served in conflicts in Panama, the Persian Gulf, Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Israel used the Apache in its military conflicts in Lebanon and the Gaza Strip. British and Dutch Apaches have also seen deployments in wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. So overall, the AH-64 here, a very iconic modern attack helicopter, I would say. Probably one of the most iconic ones you're going to really see out there currently fielded. It's overall a beautiful attack helicopter, and just kind of, I would say, the staple attack helicopter. When you think attack helicopter, you're going to be thinking of the AH-64 Apache, no doubt. But overall, really beautiful aircraft and a really nice redesign over it, kind of fixing some mistakes of the previous one and kind of making this one a little bit more accurate to how this aircraft would have actually been. Overall, really happy with the way this came out, and should be an awesome addition to any of your modern conflicts, and especially if you're looking for a primary attack helicopter for one of the nations I mentioned that also use this aircraft. Before we go ahead and jump in and take a look at the build, I do want to go ahead and give special thanks to a new patron, The Spectre, for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more you already do, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so, get a vehicle request to your choosing. Really helps support the work I do on my channel, is really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, links will always be in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go and dive in here to take a look at the AH-64D Apache Longbow. As I mentioned, this is the D variant, so this is kind of the more modern version that is currently fielded. One of the main differences you're going to be noticing with this is the addition of these kind of wider sides around the front, and also this little, I believe, radar system that's located up on the top there. So there are a few little differences compared to the standard kind of base model Apache, I guess you could say. Overall, kind of the same helicopter. Starting off with, though, we have the front up here. We have the little sensor suite, so this is where all the sensors are located up there on the nose. Moving back further, we have the cockpit here, so obviously the pilot and gunner positions there. And we also have the gun mounted on the bottom here, so this is the 30mm chain gun there on the bottom. The front landing gear on the basically the hard points there, we have some of those Hydra rocket pods, as well as some of the Hellfire missiles there mounted onto those pylons. So we have the typical loadout for this aircraft. And then further back we have obviously the rotors, the engines here on both sides, and then as we get back further, we have basically the whole tail section here, and the tail and the rear propeller and all that stuff, or the rear propeller, the rear tail rotor. But overall, really nice looking build, and will make an awesome addition to any of your modern kind of conflicts or any of your modern builds you're really making, as the Apache is such a staple of basically, I would say, the American military. But anyways, without further ado, with that, we'll go ahead and move into our first layer of the build and start building the Apache Longbow. Alright guys, so moving into our first layer here, we're going to be going ahead and start with layer 3. Now we're starting with layer 3 because it gives us a better basis to kind of build off of, as layers basically 1 and 2 will pretty much consult or deal with basically doing the landing gear, some of the hard point basically missiles, and then also the chain gun. So it's a little easier to start from this point to kind of build up and kind of build down from this nice kind of median point. In addition, if you're completely new to my aircraft tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials, I do have on camera half off. What this means is we're building the entire centerline of the helicopter on camera and then the right side, and then it'll be up to you guys to take the right side and copy over the left side. This helicopter, for the most part, is symmetrical. There are a few differences here and there, and once we get to those differences, I will talk about those a little bit more in detail. However, to kind of go ahead and just paint the aircraft with a broad brush, we're going to say that whatever we do on the one side will be done on the other side, unless it's mentioned specifically not to do that. But yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Also, forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, this is going to be for the in-flight version only, as the landed version would set at an angle. So again, if you're looking for the landed version, this isn't going to be the one for you, but this is going to cover the in-flight version strictly. Let's go and get started. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to be going ahead and placing down a row 3 of dark oak with top slabs. Now coming off this row 3 toward the front, we're going to place down a dark oak with trapdoor. So this right here is going to be the front of our helicopter here. Then after that row 3 of dark oak with top slabs, we're going to go ahead and place down a mossy cobblestone wall, a narrow dark oak with upside down stair like so. And then after that dark oak with upside down stair, we're going to place down a row of dark oak with top slabs back. That's going to be a total of 8 blocks back. We then want to place down a dark oak with trapdoor, a mossy cobblestone wall, a narrow dark oak trapdoor, and note that these are on the top portion of the block, so they're not down here on the bottom, they're on that top section like so. And then we're going to place down 3 more dark oak top slabs, and then another dark oak trapdoor on the end. We're going to go then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks back, and we're going to go then place down a block of coal. So again, we have 8, then this right here would be 9, and then our 10th block is going to be a block of coal. On the side facing toward the front of the aircraft, we're going to place down a lever. And then on the sides here of it, we're going to place down an item frame and then a green stained glass pane. If you're on Java, we can go ahead and one-up this by placing down a dark oak button on the side there of that block of coal as well. If you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you will not be able to place down an item frame and button in the same block space. If that's the case, just go ahead and place down the item frame and disregard the button. The button's just there for a little bit of extra detail for us Java players. We can go and then delete this row of concrete or whatever material you use to build out to the back here, and that right there is going to be your rear landing gear. With that complete, going back up to the front, we're going to go to our second dark oak top slab here. We're going to place down 1, 2 dark oak top slabs to the side here, and then we're going to place down a dark oak upside down stair like so. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 dark oak top slabs back after that. Next row here is going to go to the side of this dark oak upside down stair. We're going to place down a top slab, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 more back, so you have a total of 6 there on the side. After we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak fence gate coming off this slab here, and then another fence gate coming off of that. We're going to open this fence gate toward this one, and this fence gate toward that one. So like so. And we want to place down another set of 2 of fence gates right here. Same thing, opened up toward each other, like this going back. On both ends here, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some zombie heads, and we're going to place down a zombie head on both ends, like this for our Hellfire missiles. With that all done, we're going to then take our green terracotta coming off these fence gates. We're going to place down 2 green terracotta blocks, and then we're going to place down a green shulker box on both ends. After that green shulker box, we also want to place down an oak wood trapdoor and close it like this on the tops there of the shulker boxes like this to go ahead and make those rocket pods there, the Hydra rocket pods. And then we're going to take dark oak buttons and place them down on the sides here of these 2 shulker boxes, as well as on the bottoms here of those as well. And I believe we can actually go ahead and place them on top here as well. So we'll just place them like that for right now, since we don't want to forget them a little bit later on. Anyways, though, that right there is going to conclude what we have there for our first layer, layer number 3 here. And take a look at it from above here. This we should have for the top-down view for this aircraft. Both sides are completely symmetrical at this point in time, so just go ahead and build both sides accordingly. Anyways, with that all out of the way, that right there is going to conclude layer number 3. Let's move on to layer numbers 1 and 2. And moving into layers 1 and 2, we're going to be going ahead and starting off with going to the bottom here. We're going to go to this mossy cobblestone wall we placed. We're going to place down a polished black stone top slab coming down from it. On the back here of that, we're going to go and then place down a dark oak wood fence gate, and we're going to have that fence gate opened up toward this slab. We're We're going to then place down one top slab here going toward the front, followed by an end rod, and then coming off the end rod, we're going to place down a zombie head like so. Over here on the right side, in the right side only, we're going to place down a zombie head coming off this slab and a zombie head coming off of this fence gate. We're going to go then place down an end rod in between them like so. And that is going to, again, be on the right side and the right side only. Left side will look just like this. After we have that all done, we're going to go and then move to our sides here, and we're actually going to go and make one quick change. Now, this second dark oak wood top slab on this very outer row, we're actually going to go ahead and replace with a dark oak wood upside down stair like so. Now, after we have that done, we're going to then place down a fence gate, or sorry, fence post rather, that will come down from the top slab right behind it. So you have this upside down stair and this fence post right behind it like so. Coming off that fence post, we're going to place down a fence gate like this, and then open it toward that fence post. And we also want to place down a dark oak wood sign on the inside here, coming off this fence post like so. And then also a zombie head coming off the fence post like that toward the front. After we have that done, going down from this fence gate here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood top slab. So just like that. And we then want to place down two polished black stone walls, one wall here, and then one wall going forward from it like so. And then on top of those two walls there, we're going to place down two of our wither skeleton skulls like that to go ahead and make our front wheels for the helicopter. So that right there will basically do it for the front wheels, and that same design will be taken and placed on both sides like so. With all out of the way, we're going to then go to our missile pods on the side here, or I should say our Hellfire missiles, and we're going to go and do the same thing we did on the previous layer. So our two fence gates, they're going to drop down from the ones from up directly above it, and we're going to go ahead and open these fence gates toward each other like so. And then we're just going to place down our wither skeleton skulls on the ends here of those fence gates like that. And those will basically make your Hellfire missiles there on both sides of the aircraft. And with that all out of the way, that right there will basically almost conclude what we have here. One thing also we're going to add is a dark oak wood trapdoor on the bottom of this mossy cobblestone wall, and then a second dark oak wood trapdoor going back from it, like so. Anyways though, with that all out of the way, that is going to conclude layers 1 and 2, and this is what we should have so far from the side view and up above. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, layer number 4. Alright guys, so moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and place down a dried kelp block. That will be on top of this dark oak wood trapdoor, followed by a dark oak wood trapdoor coming off that dried kelp block and opened so it's laying flat against the side there, like that toward the front. Behind this dried kelp block, we're going to go ahead and place down a mossy cobblestone wall, and then we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 green terracotta blocks back. I'm going to go ahead and double check our count here, and it should be 20 blocks in total. After we have that done, we're going to place down an upside down piston on the back here. If you're on a different version, such as Bedrock or Java, I would just place down a green terracotta block here, or something, yeah, probably green terracotta block will work best here. But the piston there will help a little bit for our angling and our shaping if you're on Java. So if you're on Java, place the piston. If you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, I'd just place down a green terracotta block. Anyways, after that block there, we're going to place down a dark oak wood upside down stair, facing that direction like so. Then 1, 2, and 3 dark oak wood top slabs behind it. Another dark oak wood upside down stair like that. Another dark oak wood top slab coming off that stair. And another dark oak wood upside down stair like that going off of it like so. A dark oak wood sign on both sides of this last stair here, and then a dark oak wood fence gate on top of this block of coal opened up toward that stair like that, and that right there is going to create your center line. After you have that done, we're going to then go to the front here. We're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall coming off the side here of this block. We're going to go and then grab ourselves some item frames. We're going to place down an item frame on these two sides of this block. On the sides here, we're going to place down a green terracotta block, and then in the item frames facing toward the front, on the will be the left side, so this is technically the left side of the aircraft, it's going to be a white bed, and then next to it, we're going to go ahead and have ourselves a gray bed, and the gray bed is going to be rotated so that the pillow faces downwards. So this should look something like this here in the front. We'll also take a dark oak wood sign, and if you're on Java, we'll place a dark oak wood sign on the side there of that wall, like that, and that right there will create our front design. So just make sure you pay attention to that. The sides are different there, so just take a moment there, and you may want to replicate both sides at this point at least, so that you can make sure you don't forget that. Anyways though, after that, we're going to go then place down a green stained glass pane right here, and then going back from here, we'll place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 green terracotta blocks, then 1, 2, 3, 4 mossy cobblestone walls, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 of our zombie heads like that going back. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a green stained glass pane coming off this green terracotta block, then a mossy cobblestone wall after that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 green terracotta blocks, 2 mossy cobblestone walls, and then 1, 2, and 3 green stained glass panes back, just like that, to go ahead and continue our shaping there of our fuselage. We also want to go and go to the side here. We're going to go and go to our 4th green terracotta block back. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go and grab ourselves an item frame, as well as a black bed. We're going to place down an item frame here. Black bed rotated on its side like that with the pillow facing toward the rear of the helicopter. And then we're going to go and place down a dark oak wood sign on the side there of that block, like so, for that, a little vent there or something on the side there of the helicopter. After that is all done, we want to go ahead and then grab our dark oak wood trapdoors. We're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor on top of these fence gates here. So these two, and then we're going to go and open them like so to create our pylons. And then over here for our pod here, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 more like that, and those will also be on top of those green terracotta blocks and opened up like that to create our pylons. Again, those will be represented there on both sides. With that all done, that right there is going to basically do it. We do have one thing we're going to talk about that's going to be on the right side only near the tail. But at this point, I would recommend transferring over both sides and getting something that looks just like this here for layer 4 before we go ahead and move on to that asymmetry bit. So go ahead and replicate the helicopter to this extent, and we'll move on to that asymmetrical portion. Alright guys, so moving into that asymmetrical portion, we're going to go ahead and start off by going ahead and going to this wall right here. We're going to begin with by placing down a block coming off of it to the side, and we're going to go and then place down an end rod, followed by a second one, and we're going to go and basically do a row of 6 of end rods going back. So it's going to look something that looks just like this. We'll delete our block there on the end. At this point, you can go ahead and choose. If you're on Java or Bedrock, you can place down a zombie head here on both ends. However, if you are on Java, we're going to go ahead and use a different technique to kind of make this look a little bit nicer. So again, that's an option there for if you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition as an alternative. If you are on Java, we're going to go ahead and use our give command. So /give space @p space Minecraft :debug _ stick. And this right here will be our command. Press enter and it should give you this glowing stick. What we're going to do here is we're going to place down a block that's going to be a space of 1 off the ends here of the end rods. So you can see positioned just like that. We're going to place down our lever on the side of this block, and we're going to go and then left click the lever until we get selected facing, and it should be a direction in parentheses. We're going to go and right click and rotate this lever until it basically connects to our end rods. Make sure you are shift crouching when you are basically trying to do the end rods, unless if you aren't shift clicking, it's going to activate and just flip it up and down. So make sure that you do that, and same thing will be done over here, and it will be basically like that. Note the facing direction for me is going to be different for you guys, so just make sure that you are taking that into account. That depending on the orientation of your aircraft, your levers may require to be facing a different direction to get a design that looks like that. So that right there is basically all you want there, and again, you have the option if you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition to place down the zombie heads there on both ends. Also in the front here, continuing on with our debug stick, we can do a technique up here in the front to make the front look a little bit more crispy. To do this, we're going to go ahead and go to this glass pane here. We're going to go and change the direction. So we're going to find out what direction connects up to our wall here. And we're going to go ahead and basically right click that. So we have south. The south direction for me at least will be set to false. So it will not connect up to that wall. And then we can go ahead and go to this wall here in the center, and we're going to go and basically do the same thing. We're going to find our south direction here. It's set to low right now. We're going to go and set that to none. And you can see here it will not connect to these walls. And if you really want to get a little bit more crazy, we can go ahead and also alter these walls so that they are facing like that forward and connecting up and filling that space in completely. So just a little bit of modifications there to make that nose a little bit accurate, as you do have a tiny gap right here between the main fuselage and this optical, or this optics and all that stuff, instruments in the front there. And again, just some fun there you can have with the debug stick to kind of make things a little bit more realistic and accurate. But yeah, just wanted to kind of throw that out there also for you Java players to kind of help make you a even better, more accurate model. Anyways, though, that right there is going to conclude what we have there for layer 4. Let's move on to layer number 5. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5. Layer 5 to start off with, we're going to place down a dark oak wood stair on top of this dried kelp block, and then a dark oak wood slab on top of this wall. Just note that it may alter this wall's properties. I'm not 100% sure if it will. We can even go ahead and test it right here, and you'll see it doesn't actually alter it. It just kind of makes it tall, so you're pretty much good to go. You shouldn't have any connections, but just note that if you had this little, you use the debug stick here, stuff may change, so just make sure that you're paying attention to that, and we'll revert it back if it does alter on you. We're going to go then place down a piston for us on Java. If you are on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, I'd place down a end portal frame instead. We're going to go then place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 black stained glass full blocks, and then a row of green terracotta. This row right here is going to go all the way back to our tail, or near the end of our tail, being a row 21 in total. We then want to place down a dark oak with top slab on the end here, and then a zombie head coming off the side of that top slab. After that, going back up to the front, we're going to go and start working our way out to the sides. We're going to place down a zombie head here at a slight angle on top of that glass pane, followed by a second zombie head back from that, then a mossy cobblestone wall, a dark oak wood slab, a dark oak wood stair, and then going back to our mossy cobblestone walls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 mossy cobblestone walls back, and then a green terracotta block with a dark oak wood sign on the side of it. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 green stained glass panes, and then 2 dark oak wood trapdoors, which will be kind of closed to lay flat against the side there of the fuselage. And then we want to go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame, and we're going to place down an item frame here on the side of this green terracotta block, a green terracotta block in the item frame, and a dark oak wood sign on the side of it, like that, to go ahead and make both sides there of that tail. With that done, taking our dark oak wood top slabs, we're going to go ahead and place down 4 slabs out to the side of this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 dark oak wood trapdoors coming off those 4 slabs. With that done, going back up to the front here, we do have some side detailing to do for around the cockpit, and this is going to be a dark oak wood sign on the side of the slab here. Then we're going to place down a zombie head on the side of this stair. We then want to place down an item frame right here. In that item frame, we're going to place down a green carpet, and we're going to go ahead and rotate it so it's facing up like that for like a little like notch there to help kind of get into the helicopter. At least that's what it looks like. And then a dark oak wood sign over it if you're on Java. Next feature here will be an item frame, and we're going to then place down a black concrete block in the item frame, which we rotate to kind of form a diamond shape. Now, if you're on Java, we can also place down a polished black stone button here on top of this green terracotta block. If you're on a different version of Minecraft, you will not be able to place down this polished black stone button and the item frame in the same block space. I would recommend just placing down the item frame and disregarding the button if you're on a different version. After that, though, we want to go and then go back to this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 5th mossy cobblestone wall. We're going to place down a dark oak wood slab here, and we're going to go and then go out an additional 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go and grab our daylight detectors. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then grab our dark oak wood trapdoors. We're going to place down 1 coming off this mossy cobblestone wall. And we're going to have it open like that. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like that across. So you have the start there of your engines. And then we have our hard points or our wing pylons there that come off the sides there, which connect up to our armaments for the aircraft. So with that all out of the way, that right there is basically it for the symmetrical portions of this layer. Also in the front here, you can take your debug stick, and I can finally show you guys for on Java what we're doing here with the pistons. By right-clicking the piston with our debug stick, it will get rid of that top portion, and it just kind of helps with the sloping there for the front of the helicopter. And we can also now go to this piston here on the back and do the same thing. Just note that if you do update the block space around a piston, so for example, if we delete this zombie head, you can see here that the piston reverted back to its normal state. So just make sure that you keep that in mind. Try not to touch those pistons unless you want to be going back and forth with your debug stick, having to correct those. But anyways, though, that right there is going to conclude what we have there for the symmetrical portion. Let's move on to the asymmetry for this layer. So moving into our asymmetrical portion of this build, it is going to be involving this little kind of bar that runs along the right side here. If you're on basically one of the alternate versions, Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you can place down a zombie head here, come off this wall, come off this glass pane, come off this glass pane here, and then we're going to go and skip to the third from last glass pane and place down a zombie head right there. Obviously, it's not perfect as to what we're going to do on Java, but that's just an alternative for you guys if you really need one. Anyways, though, if you're on Java, though, we're going to go and go to the same sections that these zombie heads are placed, but we're going to go ahead and have a space of 1 between the fuselage here and a block of whatever. It doesn't have to be yellow concrete. I just like yellow concrete because it stands out. But we're going to go ahead and have our blocks positioned like this. We're going to place down a lever on the sides here of these blocks facing toward the fuselage. And again, using our debug stick, we're going to go ahead and get to selected facing and right click until our levers here are connecting up to our side of our glass panes. So it should look something that looks like this. And we want to go and then left click the lever until we get powered false. We're going to go and right click these to power to true, and it should activate the levers and have them face downwards like so, which in turn will connect up to our kind of rods or end rods going across there and create this really nice look there for that little system there, or that little thing on the side there, which I really don't know what it's for, but it is there, so it is included. And again, that's going to be on the right side and right side only. With that all out of the way though, that is going to conclude everything we have here, including all of our asymmetrical bits. Looking at it from above here, this is what it should look like for the top-down view so far. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 6. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down an air brick slab on top of this black stained glass block here, and then we're going to place down a row of 4 black stained glass back from that air brick slab. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green terracotta blocks like this going back from those glass pane or glass full blocks. We're going to go then place down a piston. Again, if you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you can place down an end portal frame. Then we're going to place down a dark oak wood slab, and then a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 dark oak wood trapdoors back. I'm going to double check my count here, and it is going to be 9 back. Then a mossy cobblestone wall, a green terracotta block, and then a green stained glass pane there on the very end. Then for our horizontal stabilizers, we're going to go ahead and just place down a row of green carpet across the top there of those dark oak wood top slabs and trapdoors. With that all out of the way, going back up to the front and out to the sides, we're going to place down a zombie head on top of this mossy cobblestone wall here. Then we're going to place down a black stained glass pane, then a dark oak wood fence post, another black stained glass pane, and then a green stained glass pane like so. We're going to go then place down 1, 2, and 3 mossy cobblestone walls back, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green terracotta blocks, a dark oak wood slab, and then a zombie head like that at a slight angle. At this point, we can also take our debug stick and right-click the piston for us on Java to go ahead and activate it like so. Then, going back up to the front, or the sides here of the engines, we're going to place down a green terracotta block to the side here, and then a zombie head coming off that block. We then want to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 green terracotta blocks with a ladder here on the very end. We're going to then place down a dark oak wood trapdoor on the side of this block here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 green stained glass panes on the sides there from the engines, like so. We're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame, and we're going to place down an item frame that will be on the side of this mossy cobblestone wall. And we want to go ahead and grab a green carpet, and we're going to angle it so it sits like this. And on this side here, it'll be the same thing, kind of angled like that to the side. And we're just going to go ahead and then take a dark oak wood sign, and if we're on Java, place a dark oak wood sign over it like so. And that right there will basically do it for those item frames. And at that point, that's pretty much all we have there for the layer. Little additional feature, if you're on Java, we can go ahead and kind of clean up the cockpit a little bit better by going ahead and going to our glass panes here and actually extending glass panes to kind of connect up to this fence post a little bit better. It's not perfect, but you can see there we kind of basically extended these two sides here to kind of help reduce that gap between the glass panes and that fence post and make the cockpit look a little bit more, I guess, fluid. With that all the way though, that is going to conclude what we have there for layer 6, and with that we'll be going ahead and moving into layer number 7. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 7. For layer 7 to go ahead and get started with, here to place down an air brick slab on top of this second black stained glass block, and then 2 black stained glass blocks back from that air brick slab. We then want to place down a row of 5 of green terracotta back, followed by a piston, like so, a dark oak wood slab, and then a lever like this facing toward the back, like so. Going ahead and moving to our tail, on top of this mossy cobblestone wall, we're going to place down a green stained glass pane, a green terracotta block back, and a mossy cobblestone wall like that for our vertical stabilizer. Then going to the front up here, we're going to then place down a zombie head on the side of this air brick slab here, followed by 1 and 2 black stained glass panes back from that. We're going to go ahead and also place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 green stained glass panes back, a zombie head here, and then a zombie head here at a slight angle like that afterward. We're going to then place down 2 dark oak wood buttons back. Again, if you're on Java, we'll take our debug stick and we can right-click that piston there to go ahead and alternate it into this configuration here. With that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a end rod on top of this block here, then a dark oak wood trapdoor back from that. Taking a lever, we're going to place down a lever here. Coming off that lever, we're going to place down an end rod, and we want to go and then drop a block coming off the side of this green stained glass pane here, right below the end rod, and then we're going to place down an end rod on top of that block, like so. Delete that block, and you get a design that looks like that there on both sides, like so. And then we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor after that lever, and then 2 daylight detectors back from it, like so. And once you have that all done right there, that is going to basically conclude what we have here for layer number 7. Just try to make sure I'm not forgetting anything and everything does appear to be good to go. So here's an overview of what it should look like with layer 7 out of the way. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 8. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 8. For layer 8 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a daylight detector on top of this green terracotta block. Then going back from here, we're going to place down a dark oak defense gate. That'll be opened up toward the back. We're going to then place down a mossy cobblestone wall. And then a dark oak defense gate after this wall that's going to be opened up toward the wall like so. On the end here, we're just going to go ahead and then place down a lantern like so. Going to the sides, we're going to place down a zombie head at a slight angle on top of this second green stained glass pane. So it's going to be at a very slight angle like so. Then one that's straight on like that, and then another zombie head that's straight on directly after that. So something like that there. Once we have that all complete, we then want to go ahead and go to the left side here, and we're going to go ahead and place down a lever like so. This is going to be using a debug stick and a lever. We're going to place down a block to the side here, a lever, and then we're going to go ahead and basically left click this until we get selected face, and for us it's going to say wall. We're going to right click this until it says floor, and then we're going to go ahead and basically do selected facing and rotate it until it faces like that toward the front there. And coming off that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a end rod like so. If you're on a different version of Minecraft, probably a zombie head placed right here instead of the lever on that glass pane will probably be their best bet to go ahead and recreate that. But the lever there again is going to be your best bet for creating that little shape there, and that's going to be on the left side and left side only, so don't worry about putting that on the right side. With that all out of the way, move into the tail here. Very simple. We're just going to place down a green terracotta block on top of this one here, and then a green terracotta block on top of that mossy cobblestone wall, followed by a polished black stone button on both sides of this first block like so. That right there will basically conclude everything you have there for layer number 8, and with that we'll go ahead and move into our last final layers here for the build. Alright guys, moving into our final layers here, we have layers 9 through 12. For these layers to go ahead and get started with, we're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall on top of this one right here, and then we're going to then place down a dark oak wood slab like this to the sides there. Then we're going to go ahead and place down a wither skeleton skull in the corners. That'll be at a 45-degree angle like this all the way around between those slabs. So it'll be something that looks like this. Then on top of this, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves pistons. We can also use end portal frames if you're on a different version. And we're just going to place down a piston on top of that wall there, and then on top of these polished blackstone slabs. Then the corners here, we're going to go ahead and place down zombie heads like so. We're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves our debug stick here again. And we're going to go ahead and basically right click all these pistons to go ahead and create that top little radar system. With that all done, going ahead and then moving back to the tail here, we want to go ahead and begin with by going ahead and grab ourselves a green shulker box. So we're going to place down a green shulker box on top here, and we're going to have it angled like that there toward the front. We're going to go then grab a dark oak defense gate. We're going to place it down coming off this wall like that to the side there. And we're going to go then grab ourselves a polished blackstone, or sorry, just actually a wither skeleton skull. And place a wither skeleton skull coming off this like so. We're going to place down a slab like this, or a top slab going forward, and then a half slab, and then back here we're going to place down a slab, and then a top slab. So going down like so. Then we want to go ahead and go up from this. We're going to place down a wither skeleton skull like this, and then one that's going to go up from it like so. So like that, and then on the bottom here, same thing. So wither skeleton skull like this, and then a wither skeleton skull that'll be like this going downwards. And it will create a design that looks like that there on the back for that rear rotor system. Now going ahead and expanding upon that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a green terracotta block going back from that shulker box, and then a green stained glass pane here on the very end. When we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and go to the top up here. We're going to place down a dark oak wood slab on top of this, and then a zombie head on top of this glass pane here. We then also want to go ahead and grab dark oak wood signs, and we're going to go ahead and place down dark oak wood signs on the sides of this fence gate. So like so. And on the other side here, we want to go and grab ourselves an item frame. We're going to place down an item frame on the side of the shulker box, followed by a green terracotta block in the item frame and a dark oak wood sign on the side of it if you're on Java. And then going up from the shulker box, we want to go ahead and grab ourselves some iron bars. And we're going to place down iron bars. They're going to go up from the shulker box a total of 3. So 3 up like so. And just to double check, make sure I'm not missing anything here for this, we do actually want to go ahead and replace this one sign right here. Instead of a dark oak trapdoor, that'll be on the side of that block there. But anyways, that right there is going to basically do it for our tail rotor, and with that, that's going to complete layers 9 through 12. At this point, the only thing we have left for the tutorial is going to be doing the rotors. So with that, we'll be going ahead and now moving into the helicopter rotors. Alright guys, so moving into our rotors are pretty simple to do. We're going to start off by going ahead and go into this polished black stone slab. We're going to build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 polished black stone slabs out to the left side. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves some wither skeleton skulls and a polished black stone slab. We're going to place down a wither skeleton skull coming off the slab like here, and then a slab coming off that wither skeleton skull, and then a wither skeleton skull there in that corner space. And that's going to be your first blade. And that's going to be on the left side there of the helicopter. Our next blade here is going to go off this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, let me double check here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 again. We're going to place down a wither skeleton skull coming off this side. Polished blackstone slab. And then a wither skeleton skull here in the corner. Like that, coming off that slab. Like so. Then again, to the right side here, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then we're going to go ahead and go one slab back like this, wither skeleton skull here, and one right there. And then finally our last blade here is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 back. We're going to go and then place down our slab over to the side like so, wither skeleton skull here, and one right there, like that. And after we have that all done, that will basically complete our rotors there for the helicopter, and with that, that will complete my design here for the AH-64D Apache Longbow attack helicopter. Hope you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for it. This could be anything from a slide on the build, link to my channel, or this video if this does appear on any social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free to use it for a project you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. With that though, again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter the Spectre for making this tutorial possible, and as always, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. With that all the way, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is McGarrett204, and I'll see you guys next time.